Hi, my brother and my sister. This is your brother Joseph Bell for a new episode of our daily Bible summary. I hope that you are all good. We thank God for everything. So, we are going to summarize today or tonight the chapter 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40 of Genesis. So, as a quick reminder, we saw at the end of the chapter 35 yesterday that in that book, Jacob flee from Laban, where he had been living for 20 years. So he flew over there, and Laban pursued him, wanted to deal with him, to kill him, but God intervened and he could not do that. And he has now to go back to his father area, and he has to confront also his brother Esau. And remember that he flew away from Esau. That is the first reason that made him to go to Padan Aram to his uncle Laban. And there he married two wives. And those two wives were the two daughters of Laban, Leah the elder, and her sister Rachel. And also basically their maid Zilpah and Bilhah became his concubine as well. And from them he got 12 children. And the last child, Benjamin, his mom died during his labor while he was going back to his father area, where his father Isaac was living. So then he went over there, and when he came back, his father Isaac died at 180. He was 180 when he died. So his brother, with whom they reconciled, Esau, they buried his father. So now the chapter 36 is basically just the main important point is that they were living together in the same area, Hebron, in that area of Mamre. And because both of them were rich, a lot of cattle, a lot of servants, a lot of goods, so they could not stay together in the same place. Then Esau decided to move from that area and go somewhere else. And the most important thing in this passage is that, contrary to Jacob, who married wife or lady that were coming from their place of origin, instead Esau married the wife of the area, the Canaanian ladies, the Etienne and everything. So that was not in fact what God wanted to, but he did that. So after guarding all this stuff, he moved away. So that passage just showed that the different descendants of Esau. And Esau is the father of the big nation of Edom that we are going to see down the road. So that is it's the most important thing to know on chapter 36. If someone wants to read exactly the different families, they can read that chapter 36. Now we move to chapter 37, and we are going to find ourselves with a dramatic situation. At that time, Joseph was 17 years old. And the Bible says that he was most of the time he was with his brothers. Basically, his brothers that were born by the Zilpah and Bilhah, the concubine, his wife. And the Bible says that he reported to his father Jacob every wrong thing that they were doing, and because of that, his brother didn't like him at all. But Jacob liked him because he was a kid that was born basically at his older age. Remember that his beloved wife Rachel gave birth after being barren for a long time. So he really loved Joseph a lot. So he made a kind of gown with a lot of color, and they gave that to Jacob. Then Jacob started to have some dream. He had a first dream, and he told his brother that, look, I had a dream. In that dream, you and I were all in the field. We were tying up sheaves. But it happened that my sheep stood up, and all your sheep bowed down before my sheep. And they were so hungry, because the meaning of, the obvious meaning of that was that at a certain time his brother will be will bow before him, so he will have a kind of dominance in front of his brothers. So they really dislike him about even more because of that thing. But now he made another dream, and he dreamed that the 11 stars, the sun and the moon were surrounding him and were bowing down before him. And he told that dream to his brothers, and as well as his father Jacob. And even his father said, but what is the meaning of that dream? Do you mean that me, your mother, and your children, we are going to bow before you? So even his brother hated him even more because of that. Then his brothers moved to take care of the cattle, so they moved in another area. And at a certain time, Jacob told his son Joseph, that look, your brother moved to that area to take care of the cattle. Go over there and find out if they are fine, right? So Joseph moved and went to that area in Shechem to find out about the welfare of his brothers. And when they saw him from afar, they just said, but look, this is the dreamer. This is the dreamer that is coming. This dreamer that have been giving us hard time with all his dream. You know what? They plotted now to kill him. They said, well, let him come here. You are going to grab him and kill him. And Reuben, the eldest brother, said, no, we don't need to do that, because as a matter of fact, it's our brother, it's our blood. We are not going to gain nothing by shedding his blood. What we are going to do, just throw him in a pit, and that's it. And finally, he convinced his other brothers, and that's what they did. And it happened that after a while, Reuben went to do some business, so he wasn't with them. And at that time, some nomad was passing by, and those nomad was the Adulamite. I mean, as the Bible says. So people from another country. They were going to Egypt. The Bible called them the Ishmaelite. Anyway, they were going to Egypt to do some kind of business over there. And then when they saw him, they say, one of the brothers said, but look, in fact, this is a good occasion to deal with this once and for all. So let's just sell Joseph to this nomad that are passing by. And then they remove him from the pit, and they sold him. They sold him to those Midianite merchant that was passing by. And they remove his coat, that multicolor coat. And when Reuben came back, he noticed that look, this guy already sold his brother away, because his mind was that he would deliver his brother and let him go, but now he could not do nothing. So they took that multicolor coat, they ripped it off, and they killed a goat, and they put the blood on the blood on of that goat on that multicolor coat, and they send it back to his father. That look, if you are going to recognize this coat. And as soon as Jacob saw the coat ripped off with the blood, he just started to basically lament that, look, my son, my beloved son, had been killed by an evil beast of the forest or the desert, whatever, maybe a lion or a bear, and is gone. So he was so bitter. He was crying. It was a real mourning for him. So now those Midianite merchants went to Egypt, and they sold also Joseph now to Potiphar. And Potiphar was at the time the intendant, the kind of how can I say it, or a kind of officer of Pharaoh. So he sold it to Potiphar. And now what happened is that Potiphar also used Jacob as the main intendant of his house. So he was a kind of person who was taking business of the house, making sure that everything was okay, taking care of the slave and all the business that was supposed to be done in the house. So, and the Bible says that he, oh, I jump over. I'm sorry, I jump. So we are on the chapter 37, right, where it was sold to Egypt to Potiphar. Now in chapter 8, something very important happened. I could have forgot it. In the chapter 38, Judah, after those things, the brother basically separated, especially Judah. Judah went away and he married a Canaanite again. The name of that lady was Shua. And he went over there and he went to that area, and he went basically he got close to one Adulamite whose name was Ira, and he saw the daughter of that man, and he married her. He married Shua. Then Shua, his wife, gave birth to 3 different sons. The first one was Er, the second one was Onan, and the third one was Shelah. Right? Then, after when his son grew up, the first son, he married a lady named Tamar. So, when he married that lady Tamar, what happened is that God took him away. God killed him because of some wickedness that the Bible didn't specify. So he killed him before allow him to give birth, to have a kid with his wife Tamar. And as was custom in those days, Judah took his second son Onan and he gave as a husband to Tamar, with the task to impregnate her and give a son, whose son will bear the name of his late brother Er. But what happened is that Onan didn't want to give a descendant, a son, to his wife, because he knew that that son is not going to bear his name, but in fact the name of his late brother. So what happened is that when he was in sexual intercourse with her, he was throwing his semen on the floor, not inside of her. So it wasn't possible basically to have a kid. And that also displeased God, who slew him as well. So now, the only son remaining was Shelah. But Shelah was still young, and also his father was concerned that, look, with this Tamar, I already lost 2 kids. My elder son Er and the second one Onan. So he said, you know what, Tamar, go to spend your status of widow to your dad home, because Shelah is still very young. When he's going to grow up, I'm going to call you back so that he will marry you and give you a descendant. So she left and she went there. And of course, his plan was to do not take her back again. And now, he himself, he went to the city. He went to that area where that lady was living, in that city. And he went there. When he went there, the lady, his in-law, heard that, look, your father-in-law is in the area. So what she did is that she left and she went to basically in the junction, a junction area where she knew that her father-in-law was going to pass by and see her. So she went there. She clothed herself as a prostitute, as a harlot. She put a veil upon her face. And when Jacob went by, I mean not Jacob, when Judah went by, he noticed her and he wanted to go to bed with her because knowing that he's a prostitute. And himself, you have to say that know that his wife died. At that time, he was also a widow. Then he went there, he saw the lady, and they made a deal with that. Okay, let me go to bed with you and everything. So she said, okay, no, I agreed to go to bed with you, but I want a price. What are you going to give me for going to bed with you? So he said, look, I'm going to give you some flock. I'm going to send you a goat, a lamb, a sheep, whatever. So, but he didn't have that at the time. She said, no, you have to give me that before you can go to bed. He said, okay, I will give you that. Okay, but just give me a kind of warranty to make sure that you will pay me my price. So he said, okay, no problem. I have here my signet, my bracelet, and my staff. So those are the instrument of representative of a person. He could sign, he could put a seal of stuff, he could sign a contract and everything. So he gave to her his staff, his signet, and signet, staff, and I don't know what the other thing that a bracelet. So he went to bed with her. Then he left, he went back, and he sent now the price, that sheep, that bull or whatever. He sent it back now with his friend. That okay, go to that area, in that corner, in that area. There is a prostitute over there. Give her this price and retrieve my signet, my bracelet, and my staff. And he went over there. When he came back, he didn't see her. He didn't see her. He asked to everybody over there, but where is this harlot that I've been standing here, I've been seeing here? They said, no, we don't know her. We don't know any harlot, any prostitute who have been here. That never happened. So he came back and reported the situation to Judah, and Judah was just surprised. He said, you know what? I don't know what to do with that situation, but you know what? Let's forget about it. Because I don't want to draw a shame on me. And now, after that intercourse that he had with his daughter-in-law, she got pregnant. And now the people reported now to Judah that, look, your daughter-in-law, she's pregnant. So she prostitute herself and despise your name and everything, at that time. So Judah said, you know what? As she did that, she had to be stoned. She had to be burned down. And then people gather now to execute that sentence on her. And then the lady Tamar removed now those signs that she took from Judah, signet, bracelet, and staff. She said, you know what? The person with whom I have a sexual intercourse, who is the responsible of this pregnancy that I'm carrying right now, is a person to whom belong this instrument. And when Judah saw it, he was so shocked. He just said, you know what? She's not as guilty as me because of the fact that I didn't give her Sheila as a husband I was supposed to do. So this is because of me. So that is basically the chapter 38 that I was about to skip. Okay, so now chapter 39, we are going now to the situation now of Joseph in the house of Potiphar. In the house of Potiphar, as I told you, God really blessed the house of Potiphar. Potiphar went richer and richer. Everything was taken care of. Joseph was taking care of the house. So everything was just fine. And he was very satisfied. And the wife of Potiphar fell in love with Joseph and tried her best to entice Joseph in order to go to bed with him. But Joseph refrained from doing that. He refused. He said, no, I can't do that. My master, your husband, he trusts me, and he entrusted me to the management of this house. Everything is under my control. He don't even overlook what I'm doing because he has his trust in me. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I cannot betray him by going to bed with you. Besides that, it's a sin before my God. So she kept on insisting. So one day she just grabbed him. She grabbed him and said, no, let's go to bed with me, go to bed with me, go to bed with me. And he didn't want, so he flee basically, and when he flee, his coat remained in the hand of the wife of Potiphar. So she cried out, she shouted out, oh, look, this Hebrew that my husband brought here wanted to take advantage of me, to rape me and everything. So all the house, these people came, and when Potiphar came back home, he heard about it. He was so upset, so angry. So he took Joseph and threw him in the prison. And in that prison where he threw him, he was a special unit for the VIP prisoner of Pharaoh. So VIP of the land of Egypt. That was the unit, that section of the prison. So it wasn't a kind of nasty prison like a common criminal, murder and everything. So it was a kind of smooth kind of prison. So he went to that prison, and over there as well, he found favor before the how can I call it, the warden of the prison. So the person who was in charge of the prison. So that person also entrusted the management of all the prisoners on the matter of the prison under the care of Joseph. So Joseph again grew in kind of a position of authority, a position of favor, and he was in charge of the management of all the prisoners in that prison, in that specific unit of VIPs. And it happened that Pharaoh sent to prison, among all those prisoners, he recently sent to prison two of his closer personality, if I can say it, appointed person. One was the chief butler, and one was the chief baker. I guess that is the name that the Bible says. So they were there, and at a certain after a certain time, Joseph just noticed that they were just very, very upset. They were very, their countenance are changed, and they said, but what's going on? Why your face are changed this way? What's the problem? So yeah, the chief butler and the chef baker. So they say, no, I had a dream, and both of them had a dream. And they say we had a dream, and that dream you cannot explain it, in that you are shocked because of that dream. So Joseph said, look, God is able to explain or to make me to allow me to interpret your dream. So just tell me your dream. And now the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, saying that I was in front of a vine. And I noticed that from that vine, a kind of branch spread out of the vine and came toward me. And from that branch, there were basically three branches that came out of that vine. A kind of explanation, if I can paraphrase. And from all those three branches, there were grapes that started to grow up. So you know how on a tree there's a transformation that's going to end up with the fruit. So leaf came out and everything's onto the grape. And I took those grapes and I ground them, basically pressed them, and a juice came out of that pression, and that juice came in the cup. And I took that cup, I gave to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh drank. So Joseph said, okay, look, this is your explanation. The 3 branches that you saw is 3 days. In the next 3 days, you are going to be liberated. You are going to be free from the prison. And you are going to go back to your former job close to the Pharaoh. And you are going to continue, you are going to resume your job of putting the wine in the cup to Pharaoh. But please, when you are going to be restored in your position, do not forget me. Because you see me here in prison, I'm here for a false accusation. I didn't do nothing wrong. Please. Then, when the chief baker noticed that, but look, and a explanation had been given to the chief butler, he said, okay, let me tell you my dream as well. I was walking. I was having 3 big baskets upon my head. One on the top and the third one. But on the third one, there were a lot of nice bakeries, a lot of cakes, a lot of all those nice cakes and bakery and all those good stuff on the third basket on the top of my head. And all now the bird of the heaven came down and ate basically all that nice good food bakery that was on the third level of the basket. And Joseph said, this is the dream. In 3 days as well, those 3 baskets that you saw is 3 days. 3 days. You are going to be removed from this prison and you are going to be hanged. You are going to die. So that was basically the explanation of the dream. And what happened is that the thing exactly happened as Joseph said. And the Bible says that the chief butler didn't remember a promise that he made that is going to intervene in favor of the liberation of Joseph. So basically, this was the summary of Genesis 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for giving me your suggestion. May God bless you. Bye-bye.